seeing this, I should have the first 2 videos up on day 1 through 5, and 6 through 10. And yeah, it's been wicked fun so far. Yeah, a lot of really good stuff the last batch, so hopefully we can keep it going with really good noise. But so let's see what we have today for day 11. Okay. Okay. I actually think this is another Japanese project. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong. So this is by a project called Gaze Campaign, and the album is called Gestalt Bruise. So a lot of these albums I actually got from zines, and I'll probably show those off on the video. And I remember this was a favorite in one of the zines I read. They're really excited about this project, so I'm excited too. So I will be checking that out, and yeah, if you hear noise in the background, that's my boyfriend making cold brew. Say hi.
Hey.
Alright, well, I will see you tomorrow for the next day. That is day 11 with Gaze Campaign with Gestalt Brews. So, I won't lie, this was kind of a standard power electronics album. Again, nothing too impressive, nothing genre breaking, I guess. Not that everything has to be, you know, genre breaking and new and inventive, but you know, you hear a lot of good power electronics, you hear a lot of meh power electronics, and this was a little meh. It seems to be like kind of highly rated in certain circles or on like Rate Your Music and Discogs and somewhat, but I wasn't really blown away by it. I don't think it's bad in any way. I feel like for me personally, I've heard better power electronics. A little bit standard. It's a little bit lo-fi. There are some good tracks. Carnal Harvest is probably my favorite track. There's just beautiful walls of noise, and the power electronic vocals that are pushed really, really down behind the noise is done really well. That's a really good, solid track. There's just lots and lots of buzz and noises and samples of this track, but the album starts to feel a little bit homogeneous, kind of like all the same sound eventually, even though a lot of tracks are very distinct. It kind of just all starts to blend. It's all the same kind of lo-fi sounding walls of noise with kind of typical spurts of power electronic vocals really, really pushed down in the background, and I don't know, I wasn't blown away with it. Ultra Heaven was another good track that kind of stood out to me, but again, I wrote down that it did, but I can't really say why specifically it did. This album kind of is just another one that kind of gets lost in the void of all these albums I listen to, so unfortunately, nothing didn't really stand out to me. I couldn't find a lot on the artist. Gaze Campaign. I see they're on Lust Vessel, which is a Japanese label, and they're on a lot of lists for Japanese music, so I assume they're a Japanese artist. And this album came out in 2008 too, if you were curious at all. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I mean, if you like power electronics, I would say check it out. You might be one of the people that are really into it. As for me, just wasn't as good as I expected. That's all. Alrighty. Hello. So, we are finally at the bottom of this side. We are at day 12 of our Avant calendar. Yeah, I'm wicked excited because then we're going to be able to start this part, the main part of the board. And with day 12, that means we're like about halfway done, because it's the 25th. Yeah. So I may drop the secret because we're halfway through. I may or may not know what the 25th day actually is. I don't know anything else, and it's still a secret and random. I may know what day 25 is. It could be something special. But yeah, let's see what day 12 is. Okay, so the artist is K2 and the album is called Molecular Terrorism. So again, another thing I picked out from a zine that had high reviews, and I have no idea what it is, who it is, what it sounds like, where it's from, and I will let you know what I think of it, and I'm excited to check it out. So I will see you next time. Hello, so we are here to talk about our Day 12 album. Yeah, so that was K2's Molecular Terrorism. Sorry, I couldn't find my notes. I couldn't think of the album name. I'm a sham. So the interesting thing about this album is that, so a lot of these albums I listen to quite a few times, obviously, as much as I can to make these videos, to get an opinion for them. This was one of the first albums on this list that I listened to the first time, and I wasn't very impressed. I didn't like it. But I knew that it had something interesting about it. So usually when I get that feeling, I'll definitely revisit another album, because it could just be the time or how I'm feeling. Sometimes when I'm not feeling well after work or tired, an album just doesn't sound good, which is pretty obvious. I listened to it again today, and yeah, it's very excellent. This is probably one of the most organic sounding noise albums I've heard, and what I mean that is it's pretty much all music concrete sample based. This is an artist that's literally like banging on pots and pans and metal and sheet metal and just making all these crazy sounds. I don't know this artist's process, but it sounds like they're just in a garage just filled with any metal object you can imagine, and they're just hitting it and doing all these kind of different samples just right there while they're recording. It's pretty great. And each track, even though it's all composed of these organic sounds, they all sound very distinct. They all have a very distinct idea I think the artist is going for in each of these tracks. And yeah, it was great. I wrote a bunch of notes about the third track, which is Molecular Terrorism Part 3. And more than a lot of noise tracks that I've heard, I know I've said this before, but this one really sounds like this person is literally like building this like machine during the track, like just jerry-rigging with all these parts together, and they're like revving it up and turning it on. I don't know what they're doing to make these sounds on this track, but it's like crazy. It's fantastic. And like you have these, so a lot of these songs are like you got big chunks of just like loud noise and banging and all kinds of stuff, and then the noise will subside and you literally just hear the sound of him like banging on pots and pans or sheet metal. Like all their sound disappears except this organic banging. But it's really well done. It all flows together. It's kind of like crazy that it sounds this good and makes this work. This is straight up here, loud, abrasive, like music concrete, which I like. That is my favorite thing. Like when I talk about I love industrial, I literally mean like the sound of machines and metal. That's my favorite kind of industrial. Yeah, lots of synth squeaking. So K2 is actually another Japanese noise artist by the name Kimihide Kusafuka, and they own their own label called Kinky Music Institute, which is not a label I know about, but after hearing this artist, which is my first time hearing this artist, K2, I really want to check out more. I want to see how far this artist has pushed this just pure music concrete approach to like harsh noise. It's really good, and it kind of reminds me of stuff that me and Pigswell here have tried to like do sometimes. We've like filled like metal pots full of water and like drop keys and do weird stuff to try to get these organic sounds. And I think this artist has just like figured out how to do it really awesomely. I don't really know how to describe it better than that, but I would definitely check it out, especially if you actually love raw organic sounds. So yeah, K2 Molecular Terrorism, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye bye. Hello again. So I'm actually about a day behind because I've been really wicked busy. So yes, I am doing picking out two for the day. It's actually day 13. But yeah, super excited that we are on the main board here. Can't believe it. Already on day 13. This feels like it's going by wicked fast. For some reason, for some reason I feel like it's going by really fast right now in the beginning, but it might like slow down. Or maybe it'll speed up. I don't know. I feel like doing this calendar is definitely making December speed up. And that's really exciting because I really enjoy Christmas. I like any holiday. It's an excuse for me to make extra treats and cook, and I like getting people junk. I really do. I love getting people good junk and then opening it up and be like, wow, this is some good junk. Alright, so once again, an artist I have no idea about who it is, where it's from. This is Nyodene D with Eden Fall for our day number 13. So yeah, as always, excited to check this out, and hopefully it's good. And even if it is not good, I'll let you know how it is over there on the couch with some very well written notes. Alright, so I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hello. So, today we'll be talking about our day 13's album, which is Nyodene D with the album Eden Fall. So Nyodene D is actually an American death industrial band or artist or group, however you want to put it, project. And because of that, I feel like a lot of American noise or industrial always has a different sound. Obviously, there are other countries, a lot of it's more guitar heavy, more feedback heavy. It has its own distinct like production and sound, which I really like. And this album, this was a really good album. This is a quality, hard death industrial album. I was really, really impressed with this. I really, really liked it. Yeah, this is one I would definitely going to listen to a lot more. It's just has a lot of energy. It's really strong and powerful, and the atmosphere it creates is just very, just, I don't even know, encompassing and strong, and it just pounds you down with all of its force. I guess would be the best way to describe it. It's really dramatic too. And like the second track, which is called Damnatio Memoriae, which I'm probably not pronouncing whatsoever correctly. It's another just amazing and strong track, and like there's just like this strong yelling in the background, a lot of fuzzy synths, and the track slowly goes from like a more power electronics track to slowly develop these layers of sound, and it gets more and more into like a harsh noise track, and it's like really, really heavy, harsh, and then by the end of the track it just becomes like a pure noise track. It's just developed so beautifully. What a great track that was. I'd say it's definitely, a lot of death industrial can be really heavy and noisy, but compared to something like on the Italian side, like something like 8 Tracks Morgue, this is a bit more noisier. There's way more just walls of feedback and harsh noise than a lot of death industrial I find typically, at least out of the States. I can't say I've actually listened to a ton of American death industrial, so it could all just be like this group. I don't know yet, but that's why I'm discovering. But I'd say this is definitely a good album to check some of it out. This is really good. Another great track is Anasazi. Another brutal lyrics, really heavy hitting. In the background of this track is almost like an ambient like synth. Like it's really pretty, and it's just being like destroyed and brought all the way down into the mix by just all this harsh noise and the power electronic vocals. It makes it really fun to listen to. It's a really good track, and it really, really kept me engaged, which is good. Every track is distinct, it's engaging, it's awesome. Another really good track was Scars at Anthropology. It does one of my favorite things, or if you know me, I just am obsessed with like radio samples and like voices and and samples that sound like they're coming from like, I don't know, a radio or a walkie-talkie, just like distorted and filtered like that. And this whole track just has like this long like scientist or doctor talking in the background through like a radio and it's like underlying this whole track that's just like a straight up really good power electronics track. It's awesome. It's a really good track. And this came out in 2012 on Malignant Records, which a lot of stuff comes out on Malignant Records. You'll find out it's a good label that's definitely worth checking out. I don't think I've ever been disappointed by something so far that I've checked out off of Malignant Records. So yeah, and of course the track it ends on, born on a vulture's beak, I am carried into the heavens. It's just like a straight up dark ambient track with power electronics vocals. Really great way to end the album. Really good, enjoying. I would totally recommend this album. Yes, seek it out, check it out, and check out Malignant Records too. This is Nyodene D with Edenfall. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello. So, we're on a roll. It is day 14 already. Yes. So, I'm very excited to check out what our day 14 album is. But I want to share something special today because this came in all the way from France. This is The Universe is a Haunted House, and I can't think who put this out right now, but this is a big book about coil. Well, I shouldn't say it's a book about coil. It's kind of like a book all filled with coil, like artwork and stuff from their album covers and like clippings from Jeff's notebook and all kinds of old photographs. Wicked cool stuff, and this is ginormous. When I bought it, I didn't think it was going to be this big. It's wicked big. And it's so awesome. So yeah, I'll have to show this in a video sometime and we'll have to check it out. This coil is amazing, and on Sunday I hope to get Jeff's art book as well and be able to show you guys that too. Yeah, that is so cool. I'm so happy with that. I just wanted to show you guys that. Alright. Noise. Tape 14. Who are you? Okay, I think this is a Japanese artist again. This is Linekraft with Boryuyoku Kikai. So yeah, I'm excited to check this out, and I'm ashamed of my pronunciation because I do actually study Japanese. So I will let you know how good or not good this is in the next video. Bye. Day 14. Let's talk about Linekraft. Linekraft with the album Boryo Kikai. Like I said, very embarrassing. I should know how to pronounce this, especially because I study Japanese. Oh, sometimes it's hard for me when I don't see the kana to know how to pronounce stuff properly. So, enough of that, I'm rambling. So yeah, Linekraft is a Japanese, total Japanoise, pure Japanoise artist. Their name is Masahiko Okubo, and this album came out in 2012. And it's off a label called Black Plague, which is actually a sub-label of Malignant Records. And if you remember, I think the last album I reviewed, Nyodene D, was off of Malignant Records. So this is an album that's off a sub-label of that, Black Plague. And I like that the plague, the V is spelled, the U in plague is spelled with a V. So that's how you know you're in for a good time. Yes, so unfortunately this is another album I feel that kind of just gets lost among a lot of other Japanoise. It doesn't sound as organic as the K2 album we discussed, because this is another album that tries to use the music concrete sounds while doing harsh noise, like banging on metal and material and such. Like there's one track, Kenju, at the very end of it, there's like a pure organic hammer sound banging on metal between all like the synth, and they have like this old orchestral song playing over it. It doesn't sound quite as well thought out and done as the K2 projects. And there's a lot of abrasive junk noise, which is good, but nothing too crazy or standout-ish. If I had to say my favorite track, it'd probably be Yugou, because it's just a nice, pure, harsh noise track. Kind of a little run-of-the-mill, but it's very enjoyable and it's good. Unfortunately, I can't really think of too much. I didn't even write that much to think about this album, or say about this album. I've listened to it a few times, and I kind of just not at all blown away by it. I can't remember quite a bit of it. It doesn't really stand out to me, and I feel bad. I want to, try to discuss things as best as I can, but there's not really a lot to discuss here. It doesn't really feel bright or alive or really that amazing to me. If you're a fan of Japanoise, I would definitely say check out Linekraft, and I do want to check out more of their other albums, because I think they can make something really good. It just wasn't this particular album for me. Not to say that they're untalented, I think they are very talented, just not this album for me. But yeah, so, like I said, I can't really think of much to say about this one. It's a little just run-of-the-mill Japanoise, but yeah, I will see you tomorrow for our next review, so yeah. Alright, so, wow, we're already on day 15, so this slew or chunk of 5 albums has already come to a close. We've had some good ones. We've had some ones that honestly were a little forgettable, as it does happen with noise, unfortunately. But we've already had some really excellent albums this whole calendar, so you take the good with the bad. So let's see what our 15 album is, or our final one of this round of 5 albums. Again, I'm staring too hard at this and it's kind of hurting my eyes. But I love it. Alright, day 15. What do we got? Okay. So, like I said, some of these artists I have heard before, but it's just that they have so much like in their catalog or albums, I clearly haven't heard like all of them. I mean, even artists I absolutely adore and love, like Throbbing Gristle, I haven't heard absolutely every single release ever. Heard most, but not. It's almost impossible with industrial noise artists. But speaking of industrial artists, I have actually an artist I really like on here. I just haven't heard this album. This is Smelling Quim with Powerfuck. And talked about Smelling Quim. They are a very outlandish, off the cuff kind of comedy, industrial, toilet humor stuff. It's good. It's good stuff, Smelling Quim, and I'm excited to hear this album. Alright, so that is day 15, and I will see you tomorrow for day 16. So, we are here to talk about our day 15 album, which is one of my favorite industrial groups, so it is an artist I know well already. It is Smelling Quim with the album Powerfuck, which came out in 2009. I think it was kind of hard to figure this out because there's a lot of labels involved. I think it's off the label that's owned by the Georgi, the Japanese group that I can never pronounce, and I'm ashamed that I can't pronounce it. Viz Audio Arts is the label. So yeah, Smelling Quim is a duo from England, and they basically make kind of parody, comedy, gross out humor, not taking itself seriously, industrial noise, power electronics. It's a bit more like on the power electronic side, I'd say. Kind of think like White House, but they're taking it even less seriously and trying to be more gross out. Yeah, I mean, Smelling Quim own a label that's called Stinky Horsefuck, and this album itself, Powerfuck, has tracks called like Dottie's Cock, and there's a track called My Cock Smells Like Shit. So I mean, you know what you're getting with these dudes, but it's a lot of fun, and it sounds good. It's fun, it's aggressive, You have tracks like the title track Power Fuck, which is just like a straight harsh noise wall track, but then you have like the opening track, which is just like a power electronics industrial tune of them just repeating the words Dottie's cock over and over. I think Dottie is like a British actor or comedian. I don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I am an American. I would like to learn though. I'd like to be able to appreciate the amazing and very golden standard humor of this duo. It's so hard to pick a good track. I mean, or a favorite track. I think the second track, "ckseed," is probably my favorite. They're just pummeling you with like these super articulated accents, and there's like a high pitched squealing going on, and they're just doing like the whole like fake macho, just yelling obscenities and just saying dumb stuff, and it's just they sound like they're having a lot of fun with it, which I really really love. Just the noise and then the genre in general. I think my favorite like noise, power electronics, industrial comes from artists that just aren't really taking themselves seriously. I mean, they're having fun with it. I mean, you're making this genre for God's sakes. You're industrial. What is there to be serious about? Come on, guys. And smelling Quim is like the embodiment of having fun with it. Yeah, I'd even say that if you don't know this band, this would be a really excellent album to start out with, Powerfuck. Yeah, this will probably be my top 5. This is like great, and I feel a little bit bad because I always feel like I'm trying out so many albums and artists that I don't know of, and I've hit some albums that are kind of and they're artists that I'm not familiar with, and I feel kind of like I'm cheating because like I love smelling Quim already, so of course I love the album that they made, but I mean some artists make bad albums too. I had not heard this, so it could have been bad, but this is just a really good album. I can't help but gush about it. And it's good to take a break from a lot of just like harsh noise to harsh noise to harsh noise, and this is just excellent. This is fun, and I hope you will check it out and enjoy it. And yeah, with that, I will see you for the next review.
I'm gonna fuck you last and come in your face, put you back in your place, you daft cunt.